Okay, so yesterday I had a thunder and lightning while I was recording it, and the table was shaking and the internet went out. So pick it up from there. Lucius, the guy in the first person, he met an old man who was a friend, and there was a woman with him, and she started speaking to him in the little two-word phrase they do. He was tall, but not excessively. Had eyes like a hawk or something like that, or an eagle. And I couldn't go on the internet to get up the word for yesterday, which was a musim, which comes along as a ruler. I'd say it meant in precision, so his features matched with precision would have been what that was all about. Okay, so we'll go on today. And adjicit, and she added, ego te, which means I did something to you. Oh, Lucius, this is the vocative form of Lucius's name. I, educave, I reared te, you, with my own hands, me sisters menibus. Why not? Quid ne? Parentis tua non modo, so not only sanguis is of blood with your parents, so this parent would be his mother, so not only was she blood with his mother, virum, but etiam socia, but even ally or was together in alimonarium, in the rearing, or we get this from nourishment, they suckled together or were fed together or something like that. So that's how she's related to Lucius. Okay, nam 4, et also will do for now. Familia Plutarche ambe. Ambe means both of us, it's the female version. Sumus prognate, we are offspring or descended from Familia Plutarch, from the family of Plutarch. He was a Greek, I believe. And eandem nutritionem. We had the same wet nurse, basically. This is the nurse who they must have drank. Here we have Bibimus. They drank simul together at the same time from the same wet nurse to get their nutrition. And in the nexu germinantis, this is in a knot or bond of germantis, which is brotherhood and sisterhood. Una, here we use this as together. Coalescimus, coalvimus. Yeah, it's coalesce means they grew together, they bonded together. Nec aliud, basically nothing otherwards, or neither was there anything. Nos is us, then, which can be discerned, discernits us, quam dignitas. So only these honours or dignitas are the difference between nos, between us. Quod, take that as because, illa, she, the mother, clarissimus, and ego, I, privatus, nuptius fecundus. So this is where we made our nuptials, we made our marriages, she with a clarissimus, to a famous family, and the one speaking, ego, to just a private person, so a not really famous person. Ego sum, I am Byrrhena Ilia, that Byrrhenia, of whom, quis, forte, by chance, or perchance, say peculi, if you know Plautus, that means pretty often, of whose nomen, which is a name, it's a neuter, of whose name, inter tuos educators, amongst those who reared you, well, we have education in English, means more like towards school, but in Latin it can just mean other ways of raising you. Frequentatum, retines. So you should retine this or remember this name even amongst your educators. Frequatum just means frequently, basically. Accede, singular imperative, which means come. Itaque and so if you reverse that, you'd have and so come. The fiducia hospitium. Have some trust in the hospitality sort of thing. Be confident, fiducia. Come to a very trustworthy household where you can be a guest. Imo, more precisely, viro, I'll take that as a moreover. Moreover, yam, tuum proprium larem. As you know, if you appropriate something, you take it to yourself. So proprium in Latin means you own it. So, or more precisely, come into your own larem. Larem poetically means house. Literally, it's a god of the house. So, come and have some trustworthy hospitality or something. You come and trust yourself to our hospitality. Moreover, Su casa is mi casa, or whatever they say in Spanish. Treat it as your own house. Ad haec. To these things, ego I, yam, we'll just take it as now, mora ipsius sermonis. We've got a little blade of absolute rubor digeste. So now that he's red-facedness, he's blushing as digeste, been settled in order, or it's gone away. Mora, bit of a pause, or there's now an end of her sermon itself, of her conversation itself, and he's red-faced had gone away. Inquam, I said. Parents is evocative to his new mother, or his aunt, as we want to call her. There's a little phrase here, actually, in quotes, absit, which means he'd be away from. It's the third person with the T. Ut milonem hospitem sine ulla querella deserum. So it looks like I'll be deserting my host Milo without any complaint. So it would look like this. Absit's the subjunctive of the first person. Sed plane. But we'll take it as plainly, the adverb. But plainly, quod what, potestifici, what ought to be done with his duty integra, with his duty carried out, and nothing harmed to his duty to Milo. Curabo, it's the future. Oh, well, I'll take care of this sedulously. They'll take that as an adverb. Quotiens, I'll take that as whenever. Huius itineris, ratio nasco. Whenever there is some ratio or reasoning of having a journey, and quotiens say, whenever he has a reason to journey into this area, numquem erit, there shall never be that non apud te, I will divert off the road. That's where he stays. So I won't stay somewhere else which is non apud you, not with you, if I'm ever having a journey in this area. And we should know this deponent. Dum hunc en huis modi ser motum altercamor. So it's not an altercation, they're just talking between each other. So dum hanc, while this thing, and huis modo sermon, and a sermon or conversation of this type, or alter means going back and forth between them, porcus ad modum confectus passibus. So this little section is ablative, and the ad modum's a adverb meaning completely or certainly. So we'd confectus, we completed a few passibuses, a porcus passibus, a few steps basically. We completed a short journey, certainly. Ad domum, add to the house of Barone. This is this woman, this is her name in the genitive, and we reached it, which takes in an ad very often. So we arrived at this house, or we reached this house. Okay, so we'll have a daily dictionary of Altacour for Lewis and Short's Latin dictionary. I think Lewis did A, B, and C, and Short did the rest, and then B and C were lost. So in Lewis and Short's dictionary, I think Lewis only did A in the end. Altacour, deponent. To have a discussion or difference with another. Doesn't have to be aggressive, but it's a dispute. Can be wrangling or quarrelling. Striving to gain victory in a court of justice. But yeah, they were just having a discussion. Okay. 4. Atria. Longae pulcherrima. So the atrium was very pulcherrima, very beautiful. The superlative. Longae can mean by far or something. Or long. Columnus quadrifarem. So it had 4 edges. Per singulus angulus. Angulus is a corners. So it had basically for each single corner there was a square base or something on it. Columnus stantentibus. So it was a tollebanting, so it was supporting statues. Statues in English and Latin, standing on the columns. The faces is the appearance or the face is of Palmaris Dea, of a palm-bearing goddess. She, which, with its pinus explicatus, so its feathers or wings are unwound or stretched out, sine gressu, without any stepping involved. Pillar is a ball. Volubis installe vestigium, so looks like an unmoving vestige or the bottom of the feet. Remember that's standing there on a ball, it looks like, with a plantus roscidus, That's like a dew or something like that. So the plantus can be the bottom of the feet, and we have vestige there, which is also the footprint. So deliberantes, present participle, looks like it's slipping with frosty soles of its feet on, and neither that they are menant, neither that they stopping or remaining there, inherent. And now, yeah, okay, so it looks like you would believe that they're about to fly, and so it doesn't look like they remain there sticking. If you looked at them, you would actually believe that they're about to fly. So in the whole thing, there's just very beautiful atrium, which opens up to the sky in the atrium. It's where they receive people. There were columns in each corner, statues on them, with the appearance of a palm-bearing goddess with feathers all stretched out, without any actual movement. Volubile can indicate there's a bit of movement. So they had a dewy type of wetness on their feet, which they looked like they were slipping on a ball, and it didn't look like they were about to remain there and stick there. You would believe they were about to fly. That's pretty accurate to what it says. Okay, interjection. Look, lapis paradis. This is a stone, Parisian stone, which we understand is marble. Factus, which means it was made into Diana, who was a goddess. There's a little story. A virgin goddess. Tenet. She was holding libratum totius loco mediatatum. So mediatatum's in the middle of the whole place. Libratum. If you know your star signs, Libra's has the balance. So looks like she's in balance in the middle of the whole place. Signum, it's another word for statue. Perfecte luculentum. So luculentum means shining out light. So the statue was very luculent, shining, perfecte. Now we're going into the sections where he does 2 words at a time, which he does pretty commonly. Vestum reflatum means that the clothing was like blowing out or expanded as if in the wind. Vegetum means energetically or briskly. Procursu would mean in a step. So it looks like the goddess is wearing clothes, and she's taking a step with energy. Intro intibus obvium, as if she's taking a step to obvium, to meet, taking the dative, the plural people who are entering. So if people are entering, it looks like she's going to meet them. And with the majestate, the majesty, a venerabile, of a numinous. Numinous are another word for the gods or the godhead. So with a venerable majestate of a godly power. Where are we? Canes. Canis means dog. Canis and Juvenis are about the only 2 third declensions that aren't is stems, which go is. So dogs, utrum secus. Secus by itself means otherwise, but when it's on the end of these directional adverbs, basically means wherever different place you look, munient. So the dogs were fortifying the latra, which is the flanks or the sides, da, of the goddesses. Qui, who, kain is these dogs, and ipse, erant lapis. So, and these were dogs who were also lapis, or made of marble or stone. Here's, with these, the oculi, the eyes, Minotaur threatened. So, the eyes of these dogs were threatening, their auras were rigant, their ears were stiff, their nares, that's their nostrils, are hyant, gaping open, their aura, their mouth was savaging, and secundae, basically as if de proximo latratus ingeruit. This means assailing or attacking. Latratus is the barking. So as if there was barking, attacking de proximo from nearby. Putibus, you would think eum latratus, this barking. De forcibus lapis exera. Exera means going out of. It's an infinitive because putibus is a head verb, one of the verbs you think or goes on in your head. You would think that this barking was coming out from the gaping jaws, the forcibus of stone, from these stone mouths, and in quo, in which specimen summum opera. This is a specimen of summum opera, of the highest work opere has the AE on the end. An egregious Fabrilis ille signifex produced it. So you think this example was produced by a very special fabricator, basically, or statue maker. Sublatus carnibus in pectus. So, with the dogs sublatus, or raised up high with their chests, pectus is the chest, arduous. The peds, these are their feet, resistant imai. So the prior feet, the front feet, are currenting. So it looks like the prior feet, the front feet are running, and looks like the rear feet to the ground are standing still, resistant. Pone means behind, the tergum, the back, da of the goddess. Insurgit saxum, raise up, insurged up, a rocks, in spelunca modum, in the modum, in the way, split with a genitive, in the way of a spelunca, which is a cave. Muscus, we're not talking about flies, that's moss, with moss and herbus, and with grass, and with foliage, which are leaves, and vigultus, which are like green sticks and branches on it, and succubi, adverb, pampinus, these are some sort of vine, and arbusculus, it's a diminutive of trees, little trees. Alibi, it's another. So here there was the vines, and another place there were these little trees. De lapide florentibus. These seem to be flourishing from the lapide, from the stone or the marble. Splendet, there's shone, intus, the adverb, inside the umbra signi of the statue. So inside the shade of the statue, there's shone, de nitor lapidus, from the glistening of the rock was shining inside the statue. Sub, extrema saxe margin. So sub means under, margin is the edge, under the margin, or the extreme margin, the extreme edge, saxo, of the rock. Poma, it's like fruit or apples, and uva, these are grapes. Polita, comes from polished, you'd think. Dependent, so they're hanging from the extreme edges of the rock. Fabrissime, fabricated very well, that's the adverb, superlative. Very well made, and I'd say these are polished grapes. Hanging. Quas, which, ars emula natura, which the art is emulating or rivaling to that of nature. Similes veritate, similar to the truth or real life, explicuit. Explained, unrolled, which the arts emulate of nature, explicuit, whatever you like for that. Nearly done. Putes, you would think, ad cibum, for food, inde then, quaedem, that certain ones of them then were for food, ad cibum, when musculentus autumnus, autumnus is autumn, in America they call it fall, musculentus, something to do with, what do you call it, when they're harvesting it, they make must and stuff out of, but maturum calum ad flaverit, so this is breathing, ad flaverit, so you think autumn was blowing a colour into them, maturing these grapes, that posse decurpi, that you're possible to pick them, was that you're able to pick them, and si fontem, if there's a spring, and if the spring, quae, which discurrens, it's present participle, which runs past the vertigo da, through the bottom of the feet, where the footprints are of the goddess, vibratoring, shimmering, waving in the lenum udem, in the lenum like gentle udem, wetness, moisture, or the waters. So, if in the spring which runs past the bottom of the goddess's feet, shining in that gentle water, if you were to expexteris, if you were to look pronus down into it, credes, you would believe, ilos, that these were pendentes, hanging, racimos. This is in between the branches. I think if the branches go left and right as you look up a tree, there's different branches going on. I don't know what the literal definition is, but as in the rurae, in the countrysides, intac cetera veritatis, amongst the rest of these, veritatis means real or truthful. Neither are they cararaing, which takes the dative ablative looking thing here. So neither would it be free from or lacking in its duty or office of moving about. So it's a rough way of putting it, but it looks like if you were to look into these, you would see the hanging branches would look very real, and it nearly looks as if they've got agitation, as if they're moving. It doesn't lack the ability to look like this statue is moving. And we'll finish it up. Inter medias frondes lapidis, amongst the middle of these stone foliage or leaves, the simulacrum Actium simulacrum. This is the image on the statue of Action. Curiosio obtutu. There's a bit of a difference. We have versum in the lobe. So looks like turned into the goddess projectus yam into curvum ferinus. This is a wild stag, so it looks like now we're seeing the goddess turning into a wild stag, at the same time in Saxo, in the rocks, and there shouldn't be an R there, and in the spring water or the fountain, Loturem Diana. Diana is about to wash herself. Loturem visitor. There's the end verb. So it would seem. So if you looked in the middle of all these rocky leaves, you'd see the image of Action, Alperians, another present participle. You'd basically see this projected out here. You'd see the goddess turning now into a wild stag. Actually, you think that'd be female, and at the same time you'd see that reflecting on the rocks and onto in the spring water. And that's it for the day.